Hello there. Do you remember this video? No? Okay. Well, go watch it if you want to see the full bus network for the west side of the Portland area. Because I decided that what I wanted to do was add to, not necessarily alter TriMet's routes, but add to TriMet's bus routes here on the west side. Now, in that video, I was focusing on actual proper, bus routes to connect up the west side. So I highly recommend you go check it out because this is the continuation, long delayed, but this is the continuation video to that plan, that concept I had, where I am going to now showcase the shuttle lines. These lines are shuttles because, of course, they're going to be more limited but express direct point to point services that are, of course, going to connect up, in this case, points of interest. There's one in particular that I did actually showcase and show you in the prior aforementioned video, and that was the Sherwood Connector. I actually have two different versions of it. So obviously this is Sherwood right here, this is Tualatin, and this is Wilsonville. This purple line, as you can see, is actually the connector. This is South Cooper Mountain Transit Center, as I called it, or just Cooper Mountain Transit Center. It is part of the South Cooper Mountain development of Beaverton, and it will directly connect up down through to, of course, Sherwood. It would be a direct point-to-point connectivity where you can connect here, down through there. And with the other proposed bus lines that would go through to that transit center and through the west side, including up north and, of course, over to the east and south, this would enable people to have a very easy direct connection that would be very quick to connect down into Sherwood proper. Now, obviously, this transit center probably can't happen anymore because Beaverton's finally rapidly increased their aggressive development. And obviously, eventually, here actually sooner than later, if you go by current timeline, there's actually going to be virtually no real separation between the aggressive development of Sherwood's expanding northward and Tigard expanding south. Because a lot of this, it doesn't just stop here. It actually goes quite a bit further down. And I've also seen Sherwood is going further and further north. I believe these two fields are actually, or at least this one, I believe, is actually in development right now, which is stupid. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I got the transit centers officially in here. You can go to my website, by the way, thecriminalviolin.weebly.com. There is a entire page called Transit and Urbanism. You can go there and see the screenshots of these transit centers in place where they are. Let's go to the next one. This is going to be the Cooper Mountain Nature Park shuttle. So this one will, of course, connect up people on the west side in the Aloha area and South Hillsborough to Cooper Mountain Nature Park, which of course this is the entrance right here, so it would just loop around. But as you can see, it goes through here. This would kind of be like a pseudo transit center in a way, basically for the especially shuttle lines or any of the local community bus lines that you could propose. This would be basically the Bales Marketplace. I'll still keep calling it that because I grew up literally like right here. So this was my whole neighborhood pretty much for a long time. And you can actually see how it would use that as a transit center and then go up through here and basically pass through, if not actually stop in this little proposed pseudo transit center slash micro transit center. And then it comes back around down 209th, obviously off of Blanton or Kinnaman, whichever one that is, and then goes through here and back to the transit center before going back down and around 185th. So that's the Cooper Mountain Nature Park shuttle. We got the Chehalem Ridge Nature Park shuttle. This, as you can see, we kind of loop around and act a little bit like a way to connect up downtown Corntown and the Walmart, ironically, with the nature park. So basically, you could take the 57 out here. You could take the bus routes that connect up to, say, Banks. Take it if you live in Gaston or something. Basically from here to Forest Grove, catch 57 or this loop here, which goes down to Wapato Lake National Wildlife Refuge is the entrance. And you can go directly to this shuttle line and then connect up through here. Basically, the 57 would be your main west side connection, along with Max, to go here, and then be able to just take the shuttle directly up to Dixon Hill or Dixon Mill Road. I always can't quite recall. I'm pretty sure it's Dixon Hill because my brain always wants to default to Dixon Mill. And I know that I keep having to correct myself, so I'm pretty sure it's Dixon Hill. I've driven that quite a few times, and I've only driven it once so far all the way through. It's really, I think it's a really nice drive because it's a country gravel road. But yeah, you go up here and then boom, you connect up and back again. And I think that again, makes a lot of sense to have because this would also incentivize, I think, people to not only engage more with these wildlands and these parks, but be able to realize how great they are and potentially actually start supporting more moves from, in our case, Metro, to be able to build and make and preserve more of our what little remains for wildlands and some areas that maybe have been agricultural that they're trying to restore, so that that way we can actually preserve them, keep them safe from urban growth boundary expansions and urban sprawl, and actually be able to have them forever as a nice little retreat in nature park to be able to heal within and just thoroughly enjoy and learn about our land and the native species and everything else like that. I think that that's a really cool idea. And then they would probably get more support and more notoriety, more recognition, and more potentially even financial support and donations, volunteering, which I think would be really cool. And then this could generate, whether it's free or not, it could generate long term just because of notoriety and getting more and more people to be able to know about it and then access these parks and then come to love them. I think that it would actually be able to generate them a lot more support, like I said, right? But a lot more also profitability, basically, in a way, in terms of, again, finances. So that's one of the reasons for these kinds of park access shuttles. So that's pretty straightforward, as you can tell. Same with this shuttle, although this one is a bit excessive. It doesn't stop in this transit center. It definitely should. And in fact, it probably should do something similar to what I have the Hagg Lake shuttle doing, because avoiding this choke point is a very essential thing, which is also why you could argue don't connect it up here. Just let the 57 do that work, and then you can go the rest of the way. This does allow you to be able to, of course, get to Wapato Lake National Wildlife Refuge, and also, therefore, it also could be a Gaston shuttle. That's an alternate name for it, is the Gaston shuttle, because obviously it shuttles you to and from Gaston. Whether you live in Gaston or you live in Forest Grove or you just want to visit Gaston or you want to visit the wildlife refuge, either way, it's going to be able to get you there. And I think that that's a really cool idea. And then obviously you have the straightforward Hagg Lake shuttle. As you can see, this would be it going east, back around, down 47, and then of course connect up Hagg Lake. And you could either have it just end right at this little loop and park, basically right at the dam, or you could have it end over here in this little area, which is what I did. And then, of course, you have the Hagg Lake Circulator, is what I decided to call it, because, of course, it circulates people around the lake. And this shuttle would obviously be basically just mainly, say, from mid-springtime to maybe mid-autumn at most. You'd actually have this shuttle running consistently. Same with the Hagg Lake shuttle, would probably only run that for those portions of the year. But basically, you would have the circulator go and circulate around the lake, so that way, anybody who decides to take, say, the shuttle there can easily be shuttled around the lake. Or even if somebody did drive there, they can actually just hop on one of the shuttles if they show up, if they want to move to a different part of the lake, and then they can hop on the circulator shuttle and be able to go to whatever other part of the lake they decide they want to go to. Now here, this green one, you can actually see it faintly underneath the, I actually clicked on it by accident, the yellow, which is of course again the Wapato Lake / Gaston shuttle. You can actually have this one connect up Corntown and go from Corntown, basically at the Walmart parking lot. Again, it allows people to connect up here. So if they want to get supplies, or if they want to, refresh their water, if they have water bottles with them, they want to grab more water, they want to collect, some snacks or something, they'll be able to do that. And then they go through here. It's going to connect up Banks, although it could actually go here, because this is obviously where I put a Banks Transit Center. It's not really a transit center because it would just have 2 routes, potentially 3 with the shuttle service. But it would be able to connect you up through there, and that actually connects you up to the Banks for Nonia Trail as well, which does go through LL Stub Stewart State Park, so which gives you another option of access. But it would be able to take you there up Sunset Highway, that is also known as 26, of course, US 26. Sunset Highway, or just Sunset, go up here to the other portion of 47. And then, of course, it would connect you up into LL Stub Stewart State Park, which is, of course, right here. And I said, instead of just doing the main little first loop area of the entry area and the daily use area, I'd also connect it up to the farthest northern portion and loop area in case you wanted to, continue to take a stroll or a hike through these other portions of the park. Or maybe you're meeting up with somebody there. Or again, it also allows people in other portions of the park to be able to catch the shuttle. So instead of having to make you, say you're doing a pretty big hike and you're going all the way down to the north ends of the park, maybe you're going to try to hike back in time to be able to catch the last shuttle, or maybe you just want to catch a shuttle in general to be able to get back because maybe you took it there in the first place, or you were camping there, whether it was a few days before because you're camping there or not. Well, it's just a day trip. It allows people to have the greatest ability to not miss the shuttles and access them at any point. So basically, you can flag this shuttle down, is the idea, at least within the park, to be able to catch it in case you need that shuttle to get home. Otherwise, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be a real bitch. So this one goes from downtown Bethany to PCC Rock Creek. Of course, it's a nice little connector, the shuttle. So it's very express because downtown Bethany, and then of course you'd have a stop here at PCC Rock Creek. Potentially you'd have one here, but likelihood is you just do this PCC Rock Creek. Then of course it would go up through here to Germantown, take Germantown directly down to the St. Johns Bridge, stop in downtown St. Johns, and then obviously go to U of P, and then you do the same thing in reverse. So you'd have 4 total stops. It's the Westside Shuttle, Westside St. Johns Shuttle. The Westside Sauvie Island Shuttle, which would go from El Monica, and we'd go stop at PCC Rock Creek for some reason. I don't think that's 100% necessary, but then again, I guess it's an accessibility thing for this side, right? So you could actually take this shuttle if you wanted to, or the 67, when every hour it runs, and be able to catch it up to PCC Rock Creek, get off there, transfer to this shuttle, and then continue north, obviously. And then you go through, again, this snaky-ass, super narrow pass, which is Corntown Pass, of course, Cornelius Pass, and then, of course, Highway 30, and then Sauvie Island Bridge, and connect you up here to Sauvie Island. And then, of course, you have this one, which is the downtown Portland shuttle, connecting you up to Sauvie Island as well, which is this purple one. And of course, it would connect you directly through. I guess it also connects up St. Johns, which makes sense because I think it's the 15, no, that's Belmont. It's the 5 then. Oh, no, it is the 15. No, the 15 that's why the 15 is the Belmont line, but yeah, I guess maybe that one also originally went from east side somewhere along Belmont in Hawthorne. Some of the runs connected you directly to St. Johns, and then of course to Sauvie Island. So basically what this would do is instead start in downtown Portland and then be a shuttle not only through downtown Portland and North Portland, the industrial district, but it would then obviously also connect you up to St. Johns, and it would also connect you, of course, to Sauvie Island. So this cool thing about the St. Johns line, or the Westside St. Johns shuttle, is that it also connects you up to the northern half of Forest Park. So you could actually get off, if you decided to flag it down and say, hey, I want to access this trailhead. You could just tell the bus driver, point it out, they can stop, drop you off at that trailhead, and then you can go up or down that trailhead and hike through that trail in that park to wherever else you're trying to get to. I think that that's a really good idea. And then, of course, you have the actual Sauvie Island line, and this is the final shuttle line. This is the shuttle line that would, of course, would connect you to the whole of the south and east end of Sauvie Island. So this shuttle would go from here on the parking lot area of Sauvie Island that would turn sort of into a little bit of a transit hub for the shuttles. It would transfer you down through and take you through these areas. So this would not just serve as an ability to be able to go to each of the most popular farms on Sauvie Island, which are all here on the southeast end. Whether you're a worker or a enthusiast or somebody who's literally trying to go shopping for your produce or whatever else, or just have the good time and experience, or go to a corn maze. Because Bella Organics Farm is down here. Yeah, the pumpkin patch is down here. So you get to stop at these farms, and also at the same time, anybody who lives down on the south end of Sauvie Island has the benefit to be able to take, or even the east side of Sauvie Island, has the benefit of being able to then take this shuttle down and then be able to catch any of these other shuttles to connect them to downtown Portland, to St.Johns, to thus the rest of the TriMet network, to see a Rip City remix game. The likelihood that that would ever happen, or Portland Pilots game, again, the likelihood that would ever happen is like next to nothing, but you know, takes you down to Chili Center. Or again, the likelihood, which is minimal with this little population that Sauvie Island has, would be able to allow college students that go to the University of Portland to be able to go see, or be able to go to the university. Obviously, it would connect you up eventually to Collins Beach. And that means that you're getting up to the northernmost point accessible via road on Sauvie Island. And that means that you have, you have the connection to this part of the beach line in the park. Collins Beach is this beach line. There is one half of the beach, which is the clothing optional portion of the beach. So that's where most of the nudists go and naturalists go and everything like that. And then they go down through here because there's a lot more trees and protection. So they have like this segregated area. It's not even truly marked other than a sign, I believe, along the tree line. And you can go south there if you want to be a part of that. Or you can go to where the rest of us go, which is here on the open portions of the beach. But you also have this trail that comes off of it. And this thing allows you to go into and see, you can see the migratory birds, you can see all the different other stuff, because this is the part of the National Wildlife Refuge that it exists on Sauvie Island. You also, of course, have the fishing access to these parts of the Columbia River. You also have the access to this trail, because the trail goes all the way up to the very tip. And then there is, I believe it's called Warrior Point or Warrior Head Lighthouse, because there's a lighthouse, an old lighthouse here on the northern tip of the island. I think it's like a 5-mile round trip or something like that, I think is what I hear most people say. I think it's like right here. That's where the lighthouse is. But yeah, or could be hidden here. I'm pretty sure it's up there though. But yeah, so you can go see that, and that's a pretty big feature that people like to look at as well. It's a decent, you know, hike from the parking lot, but it's well worth it for most people. That is the final shuttle that I have actually outlined, because there's at least one more for the west side, and that would be the other side of Sauvie Island. So this would be the one that would connect you up through the west side and half of Sauvie Island. I just droned on about Sauvie Island instead for the last 5 minutes, and that's my bad. So those are your shuttle lines that I proposed. And then in the greater network, as you can see, here we are. So all the purple, of course, are your natural, normal bus lines for the west side that I showed again in this video that I proposed, and I also have on my website. You also have the smart line options. I did this as a kind of like a doodle thing, a pet project, because I'm like, I don't know if you really can truly improve the smart network. Again, aforementioned issues are the main reasons why. I-5 severance, the location of the facility, and then the lack of development in a lot of spots. So there's just a lot of gaps for no reason. And so as a result, that makes it really tough to be able to properly serve Wilsonville. And also you have this purple line that's obviously serving a couple of lines, I should say. Yeah, one of them goes to Lake Oswego. The other one just goes to Tualatin. But basically, you would have these connectivity options here. And then that would connect as they keep developing further southwest towards Newburgh. That would actually enable this community to be able to connect up easier and have more of an option to get further into the rest of the network, including TriMet's network, and also these new bus lines that don't exist currently that probably should. Therefore, you don't necessarily need a smart line to connect you up on this side of the town and city, because now you already have this line serving you, and it's a full service line with a full, you know, size bus and everything. So I think that makes a heck of a lot of sense. as well as the smart services. But of course, I'm not really going to go independently into each of them and feature them because they are not the focus of these videos in this little series. This is what the complete network with shuttles looks like, including the smart lines that I normally didn't feature before. So I think that that looks really good, I think. Even this just as a standalone looks fantastic, if you ask me, in terms of transit services and accessibility, despite the fact that it's missing all the pre-existing lines of TriMet. So the bright green here is, of course, the max. You can't even see the white lines anymore for smart. But yeah, and then obviously the red is the actual existing bus lines. So obviously this is all YCTA. This is going to be a mix of smart cat and chariots. But yeah, so you get the full bus network in the red, the reddyish orange. And of course you got the purple that are mine. The green, lime green is, again, the max network. The blue is a streetcar. And then obviously orange is normal heavy rail. So this is actually west is what it's showing. And then of course the other lines, this blue one, the burnt red one, the tan one, the purple one, just all the other colored lines you see here, including this white one that you can barely see. These are, of course, all the shuttle lines that we just showcased. So you can actually see the full network with shuttles, with TriMet's lines that already exist, and then with my proposed lines. And I think that that looks pretty freaking sick. So that's your full coverage for the west side. Zoom too far out, but you can see more of the network. And I think that that's a really cool connectivity, if you ask me. That said, I'm going to shut up. I'm not even going to ask you what your opinion is, but I do want to see it in the comments below, whatever your thoughts are on the network and on my concepts. Otherwise, that's going to be it for this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you whatever my next video might be. Until then, stay safe out there, and I hope to see you around.